obviously, y'all have heard the song Crawdaddy. If y'all have not, you need to check it out. It's a song about crawfish. I was trying to go for like a New Orleans style vibe. And a lot of people are going to be thinking about, like, you know, I feel like a lot of the questions for this one are going to be about the guitar, the vocals. The vocals are really cool, how they were done. And then the drop, the sound design that's in the drop. Here's the thing. I know how to play guitar, but I don't even have to record it because I found these two samples. This one wasn't in the same key, so I just pitched it. Same with this one. They're from two totally different packs, but they just worked very, very well together. Putting them through a guitar rig amp. One of them is at least. I wonder if I unfreeze it, if it'll still be there. Yes. And that's how this song's going to start, just from some splice samples. Just cut up right here.
You got that heat, now give it to me, Crawdaddy. Give it to me, Crawdaddy.
All right, let's talk about what is going on here, okay? So I knew I wanted to get kind of like a New Orleans style vibe. This song's about crawfish, okay? I've been living in New Orleans the past couple years. Had to like pay homage to them folks. So I'm getting all these horns. I'm stacking a lot of horns. I'm doing a lot of virtual instruments through Serum. But the cool part here is the vocal, okay? So the vocal by itself isn't actually in key or whatever. I'm sending it through a vocoder via routed to MIDI notes. And we can go over on how all that is done as we go. But I think what we should just do is listen to this little verse section, because I think, honestly, the verse section is the coolest part of the song. I think this part is cooler than the drop. It's more fun. What I love about this song is that it's a fun song. It's not too heavy. It's not too weird. It's not generic, but it's fucking out there at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just a fun one. But I want y'all to notice one thing, because there's just things that I like pointing out that are really good to keeping a cohesiveness to a song, and that's the turnaround. Okay, I think it just goes from a low F to a high F, if I'm being correct. Yes. So it goes dun dun. Y'all are gonna hear that recurring every 8 bars, I believe. And the only thing that's changing is maybe the synth that is doing that pattern, and then maybe the drum beat itself might be doing some type of fill. But that dun dun, you're gonna hear it every 8 bars, including in the drop. Now these turnarounds are good to kind of stick out, to remind you that you're in the same song, to remind you, and also just to kind of rebuild energy, especially in drops. Turnarounds, I feel like, are important, just to kind of bring back some of the verse sections and intros, just to kind of like, you know, make it a little bit more cohesive, and just it also builds that energy back up. So I just really wanted to point it out. And the first time you're going to hear it is right here with these horns. The bum 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 bum.
You got that heat, now give it to me, Crawdaddy. Give it to me, Crawdaddy. You got that heat, now give it to me, Crawdaddy.
Check these horns.
Give it to me, Crawdaddy. You got that heat, now give it to me, Crawdaddy. Give it to me, Crawdaddy. You got that heat, now give it to me, Crawdaddy.
All right, just wanted to point out that bum bum. You'll see it right there, right there. You'll see it right there, and you'll see it in the drop. But let's go over what the vocals are doing, okay? Because I think those are the most interesting part of this song. So I'm gonna unfreeze them. They're routed to a Isotope vocal synth. It's a plugin that I have, but you can also do this with the vocoder in Ableton or whatever DAW that you're using. Route it to some MIDI signals, okay? So we unfreeze it, and then we take this off. This is what this sounds like without it being routed.
You got that heat? Now give it to me, Crawdaddy.
Sounds bad without it, right? Sounds pretty bad without it. But you add it. I'm in this synth, and I'm just sending it. It's in MIDI mode. And then this is being sent, let me see, on the routing of this is vocals to, actually, we need to go to MIDI. MIDI is going, I'm going MIDI to 102, which is the vocals over here. And then the Isotope down here, the Isotope rack, the Isotope plugin. And that's picking up MIDI signal, and the MIDI signal is this right here, and it's just going bum 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 bum, the same as like the horns, bum 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 bum, routing it to it, you can make any sound, anything musical by routing things to vocoders and stuff like that. I can't sing like that at all. But then you start stacking the notes together. You know, like I'll start adding octaves to it, where I'm layering the octaves. Oops.
Give it to me, Crawl Daddy. You got that heat. Now give it to me, Crawl Daddy.
And also, I got something layered right here. The daddies. You got to layer them daddies, bro. If you got layered daddies, you're fucking winning in life. You're fucking winning, bro. Hold up. Let me take a sip of my victory real quick. Here we go. I'm layering the daddies right here with the grain delay. And I'm automating the pitch right here, because right here they're going to pitch up to daddy, 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 daddy. And then down here they're going to pitch daddy, 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 daddy. Just got to, you got to go up and down on the daddies. You can't, daddy likes them both.
You got that heat. Now give it to me, Crawl Daddy. Give it
Up
to me,
to.
Crawl Daddy. You got that heat. Now give it to me, Crawl Daddy. Give it to me, Crawl Daddy.
And then I just layered it with this right here, and this honestly isn't doing that much. I've spent too much time on this project trying to make it absolutely perfect, so I was just fucking layering things, and I think this is just an octave up, if I'm being real, yeah. So fucking quiet, and it doesn't make that much difference. I will show you what does make a difference with these horns, okay? So I want to solo these two horns right here. Going down on the granddaddies. So what I wanted to do right here, I felt like these horns were great. I just felt like they didn't have enough like good high end on them. So I layered it with this saw wave right here. And this saw wave actually, it's turned down negative 26 dB. But when you hear them all together, that high end is there just at the right amount. And the patch itself, I think it's just a saw wave. Yeah, 16 voices, detuned over the 50%. And then multi-band compressor. Very fucking simple. And then simple EQ. But that high end from this, really quiet, but it really does add that whenever they're later together. And here's that turnaround I'm talking to you about. You're gonna hear this reoccurring in the drop. Now, I'm looking over here in the comments, man. If y'all are in the comments, say what's up. And y'all have anything in specific on questions about anything I'm doing right here, feel free to drop those questions down below, man. I'll answer them real time. You know what I'm saying? Real time, not fake time. Let me just make sure I went over everything over here. I think the drums are doing really cool shit, too. Yes, so I have this layer right here, this little drum, this Travis Barker drum loop. I am sidechaining it and then EQing it, and it's really just adding a little bit of a live feel to it. I think drums. Did you make the horns in Serum? I didn't make them. They're from a let's see, where they from? Where they from? Dakota. They had a whole like orchestral sound Serum drop. It's fucking dope. What's up, Jasmine? How you doing, girl? But these drums right here, they're turned down really quiet, but like check them out. I love that the majority of my questions I can't answer because you teach me. There we go. This is just like a live loop. And it's adding a lot more than you think. So like I solo these drums. I take that out and it doesn't sound as lively. And like I said, I was trying to go for like that New Orleans style vibe. So New Orleans is like a very live, like marching band style percussion. So I just added that, just sidechaining the kick and snare, but not a lot. And it's the small release. That way, we're still getting the tail end of like the snare, and then like this reverb, like real kicks have like a little bit of like natural tail reverb or whatever. So yeah, that's that it helps out a lot right there. And also on the high percussion, drums are the most important part of any song. People like to think it's the sound design, but it's the drums. And I will die by that saying. You can kill me. And then I just added like this live little loop right here, just EQ'd. Just all together, it sounds really nice. And then just a little open hat, just to like accent this little open hat right here. And then I have this contact instrument right here. These are like good drums or something like that. And I made this on my old computer, so it's saying it's disabled, but I do have it downloaded. It's just a snare roll. It's like a real snare roll, not one of the fake ones. And then I just layered the drums again with this. It just really has like a lot of really good high end, but together with this and the high percussion,
make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer in every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
It fucking really stands out. But you take it out, just not as interesting. You know, a lot of people like to see full drum loops and be like, "Oh man, those like you're using drum loops," and it's like there's nothing wrong with taking drum loops and making them do what you need them to do to add to your song. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not relying on these to lead the groove; they're just helping. So some of y'all who think that it's wrong to use loops, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that as fucking dumb. And you should use loops all the time. If they can make your songs better, go for it, dude. I mean, I'm just really using it for that high end, and that's some good. It's like a real live sounding high end, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's good, Alex. All together, it sounds nice. All right, let's move on to the build. And all I'm doing right here with the build is I'm just taking some of these synths, the extended high F, and just once it hits at this point, I'm just pitching it up an octave. Like, we can see the automation. Go to Serum. Yeah, I'm just pitching it up an octave. It's going to do the same over here. I'm not introducing really any new sounds. These sounds were already there. I might have introduced like some risers. Yeah, like this little thing right here. I think what I did here is I did like a delay with a high feedback and then freeze and flattened it, and then right here I started pitching it up. Let me see. Yeah, I started pitching it up halfway through.
Give it to me, Crawl Daddy. Okay.
All right, I know y'all are going to want to talk about the drums. Hold up, let me catch up on the comments and just make sure that y'all are all good. Nobody use Travis Barker drum loops all the time, trying to make them sound different. I agree 100%. Hell yeah, dude. Is that sub following the main melody? Yeah. Oh, actually, I'm glad you pointed that out because I have a little bit of a layer going on with the sub. I'm using just a straight sine wave to kind of get just the low end, like just straight low end of, like, I'm talking about 100 hertz, probably 120 hertz. And then I'm layering it with this slap bass, like live bass in Ableton. And I'm cutting it off at 100. I could have did 120, but at 122 just to make sure there wasn't any frequencies going on. And this is kind of doing a little bit more than the actual melody. Like, it's going, the melody's going bum 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 bum, and the subs, like the slaps, are going bum 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 bum, just to kind of give like more of a live feel. But together, they have the low end of an electronic song, but then like the low mids of like a real bass. So like that was kind of what I was going for. I think I heard like the Chainsmokers talk about that like in a fucking interview, and I think that's what I stuck to on that. I was like, yeah, I want to try that. You know what I'm saying? It's just got a little bit of a live feel to it, but with the electronic low end. Okay. Hope that answered that. Hope that answers the question about the sub. And all I'm doing on the drums right here, for the build drums, I'm not doing anything too crazy. I just have a straight 16th note snare being built. It's panning, but it's going to close in. The panning is going to close in over time. Just like, it just kind of seemed like, I don't know, it just seemed kind of cool going from really wide to really thin, but then everything's kind of washing out for the build. So I thought it just kind of felt good on my ears. right, so I know all the questions are going to be about the sound design. All right, but I want to go through the drums real quick because I think those are very important. I'm going to kind of close everything out but the things that we're using at the moment. So I'm doing big layering right now on these snares. I think I have like 4 or 5. Oh, my God, way too many. Honestly, way too many. Can I just go say that you can probably get the result with layering 2, maybe 3. I think I got like 5 here. But it worked. So if it works, that's all that matters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy shit. And then the high percussion is doing a lot as well. I watched this thing online where this guy was like layering his kick and snare with like just some white noise to kind of add like almost like a distortion type thing. And this is the only time I've ever done that. If I'm being real, I probably wouldn't do this again. But there's nothing wrong with it. I just probably wouldn't do it again. But I got this China cymbal layering. I got like this higher type of like ride percussive going on. Because this is kind of taking up like these like high mids. This is taking up high highs. And then this right here is just really taking up the in-between area. And I thought it just kind of all sounded nice together. And this should be kind of like a ride bell. You know what I mean? Kind of like a tune, ting, tune, ting, tune. Like, you know what I mean? Like. Then obviously just the crash. Just the crash. So let's talk about these snares. So this one's just a dry one. This is my main transient snare. This is the one where I'm getting all the snappiness. This is the one where I'm getting all that beefiness, boy. And then I got it layered down here. And this is kind of doing almost the same thing. It's just a lot quieter. This is the main one. Now this one, damn, I didn't do it. Oh, this one just has a little bit on the fucking return. So this just had a bigger tail. And I was trying to go for like one. Do you put your cymbals in your drum bus? No, I do not. And the reason is because it's A, easier to EQ, and B, I process them differently. So like on my drum bus here, I'm adding distortion, I'm adding saturation, I'm doing all that jazz. I'm also filtering a little bit of the high end off of my kick and snare and toms and all that. And I don't want to do any of that on these hi-hats and cymbals and stuff. So good question. I like the question. But yeah, I like the tail on this one. This one, I'm really going for like a high-end, like solo it. And I'm going like kind of like a call and response type thing. And these are 2 totally different snares. Holy shit. Like I said, I might do this one a little differently now, but, you know, that's what happens. You learn, and you learn. And this is just more of like a smack right here. Just a clap smack. I like how it goes. But if you take one of these snares out, it just doesn't hit the same. Like, take the smack out. Lame. Take this one out. Actually, that doesn't sound that bad without it, but it still, fuck it. Definitely noticeable without this one. I just wanted, like, that back of the mix. Mix, you gotta be the redneck music Einstein. Goddamn right, brother. What was I saying? I don't even know. I just kind of wanted that like big tail, reverb tail to kind of take up the back of my mix because there's not that much going on other than the drums, the high percussion, and the mid bass. Now there is a couple things going on with effects, and I kind of want to talk about them before we get into the sound design. I know that's what all y'all are wanting to hear. I want to talk about the this thing right here. This thing is kind of driving this song to almost be like more percussive sound. It just helps drive it a little bit, and I have different EQs going on to really just hone in on those frequencies. But let's find out where the original sound of this is a cashmere animal. That's what that comes from, and I just pitched it up, and then I just faded it, and then EQ'd the fuck out of this bitch, made sure it doesn't do anything. But this thing is really just driving the back of the mix, so like without it, there doesn't have that drive going on. I just kind of like that. And also, this is in key. So it's like if I'm playing an F, this thing's probably an F right here. So yeah. Let's talk about the effects. I think I'm just doing white noise down. This is another like tonal thing in F. No, I don't even think so. I think that's just kind of like an effect thing that's just reversed just to kind of add a little bit. This shit looks and sounds like a UFO. No, it doesn't, dude. It sounds and looks like New Orleans, bro. Get it straight. America, all right? UFOs are from outer space. This is from the United States of America. Get it right, dude. I don't want there to be any confusion. It's just kind of just like a backwards effect, just to kind of also drive it and keep the energy going. I find like suction and like tonal things going on to where they're not in your face, but they're back there just helping the groove go along. What's the thought process to going to an animal noise to fill the background? Good question. It was in a key, so this is an E, and my song was an F, so I just know I had to fucking take it up a semitone, and then it was an F, and then I just put some reverb on it, slight reverb. I think I have some on the return too. Yeah, it's compressed. It's sidechained, and then I have the EQs because they switched. They goes a pitch down, and I wanted to move the EQ. So yeah, I could have just automated that, but I said fuck that, and I just did on and off on the different ones, dude. Tension and release, bro. I'm all about releasing tension. And then we just have like these other little, just white noise suctions, just to kind of build more transitional tension. You know what I mean? Just tension going in. So like taking the sound design out, taking the mid basses out. If we were to just have drums, effects, and everything, no matter what we insert into this drop, it's gonna sound fucking full. Like even just the drums itself sound great.
Okay.
It's like whatever else we add in there is gonna be fine. Like it's honestly like we've already won most of the battle with getting the drums and the effects and everything just so full and big. How do you get the higher? How to get the effects higher in volume to match the rest of the song? That's easy, dude. You just turn it up. But this isn't even loud. This is really quiet. I don't want them as loud as everything else. I want dynamics. So like this is -25. Like everything's really quiet compared to my mid bass, which is -1.3. So this is really fucking loud compared to like my sub and my kicks and snares. So let's go over the sound design now, because I know this is what you're gonna go. I feel like that's a lot of y'all's questions. That's usually what people want to know about is the sound design. But honestly, it's the most boring part. I feel like the best parts of this song are the drums, the flow of instruments and vocals. I feel like are the things making a song danceable without the main synth is key. Boom, Jeremy, you got it, brother. But I know y'all want to know about the sound design, so we'll get into it. All I'm doing is thinking about going to like the intro, the bum 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 bum. I kind of wanted to follow that with like my big basses, bum 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 bum. And I got the patch right over here. And it's the patch over here in the second drop, but it's the same patch. If I just unfreeze it, so like if I turn this EQ off, y'all hear it. EQ in the auto pan, you'll hear it's the same patch. There's some fucking pitching going on, but it's the same patch. All I'm really doing, all the patch is looking like, is just these two wavetables. I'm doing a little bit of FMing. I also have, where is this going? Fine tuning. Let me see something. Okay, I have LFO1 bypass on the fine tuning. I definitely didn't have him bypassed on the first drop. So this is the same patch, just on a different drop. And a couple things messed with. Let me just make sure I don't have that. Okay, yeah, this is 100% it. It's just a sine wave kind of FMing into another sine wave that's just kind of pushed over. Slight distortion, slight compression. I was doing kind of like a vibrato effect on the wavetables just by adding an LFO to the fine tuning and then just kind of bringing that down to where it's not going out of a transpose, like it's not going up a tempo, but it's definitely slightly detuning to kind of give it a little bit of like just a little bit more movement. It's like doing a sustained note. We could have a sustained note going or we could have it going you know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to go you know what I mean? I think y'all get what I'm saying, bro. Is anybody else hot, bro? I'm getting hot. Getting hot up in this bitch. All this talking and dubstep. Any questions so far? I'm going to keep moving. If y'all have questions, pop them down, dude. We're going to go back, though. Because all I'm doing is playing the melody out, and I had resampled it. But I know y'all's questions are going to be about this right here. Do you break up your sound design sessions and writing sessions, or do you do sound design and while writing? Good question. I like to break them up apart because whenever I write my songs, I don't like writing my songs to make like a dubstep song. I like having ideas for a song. So it's like, I knew I wanted like a New Orleans style song. I knew I wanted to write a song about crawfish. I knew I wanted to have kind of like a silly, fun, but yet hype song. So I went into it with the sound design already done. Like, I already had all the patches and samples originally made. They're all the basses in here 100% from me. But I knew that I wanted to... I separate them just because I like to have a full idea. If I just do sound design and then just sit down and try to make a beat, it sounds just like every other song that's ever been made. I feel like what makes songs special are the ideas and kind of like, you know, the vibe you try to bring to it. So if like this song, I wanted to bring like a New Orleans vibe, something for your mind. I wanted to bring something that's a little bit more trippy and like wook vibey, but I was like, I think I was doing mushrooms that day. So it's just like, you know, I like to create vibes. You know what I'm saying? What's going on in the EQ in that main bass? Is it cut much higher than the sub frequency? No, I think it's like right where the sub cuts. This is where it cuts to. So I'm at 120. I'm also lowering some of the low mids just because they're super aggressive on this bass. And then on my sub is cut at 120. So it's like they're cut right there at each other. Do you have a certain formula you use, like a 16 bar into an 8 bar fill, 16 bar? No, I don't. I just kind of flow, bro. You know what I'm saying, my dude? I don't really like have a formula. I think formulas are bad. I like to have like, I have rules, but I also hate like, but fuck the rules. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a little different. All right, let's talk about this sound right here. This comes from this patch right here. Let me unfreeze this. Let me play a note, and I bet you this is it. Yep. So this is a little fun. Fucking super, super resonant on the band reject. Literally, you can tell the band reject resonance is turned all the way up. 100%. I'm using an LFO to kind of get like the amplitude, like movement. And then I have this probably on an EQ down here to kind of clean it up. Yes. Also on another low pass, cleaning up it even more. And I have it filtering on the distortion itself. So without that, doesn't make that much of a difference if I'm being honest. Can you move serum to the right? Yeah, my bad, actually. Good point. My face was totally on the left. Yeah, good point. Yeah. So it's just like, you know, nothing too crazy. I think it's just, what was it? Sine wave? Saw waves? Yeah. Alex, he beat you to it, bro. Yeah, so it just got an amplitude going on. This is just on the width. So if you don't know about the band reject filter in Serum, it really just splits the frequencies in half. Like splits the frequencies of the sound apart, which is cool. And then this is just on the cutoff, just slightly moving it. It looks complicated, but it doesn't at the same time. It's not that bad. And all I did is I resampled me fucking with the parameters a bunch. I just resampled them. And then the rest of this is remnants of that resample. And we'll go over that as well. As far as post-processing, it's everything. So without the post-processing, it sounds like this. With it, honestly, I might would. It's got some like dirty, like kind of like muddy sounding low end, but it sounded good like with the song, like, and I EQ'd it out down here, but it still sounded kind of cool being muddy like that. And it's just different instances of isotope trash and OTT, and then more compression. It's nothing too complicated, and not overthunked at all. Don't overthunk anything. As simple as that. Do we have any questions right here? I'm gonna wait before I move on, just because I'll show you how I do the resampling. If y'all have any questions about that, you want to see the patch anymore? But yeah, simple as that. Anyway, you can even see it was on the resampling, and I just add a little bit more Compression, OTT. What is this Serum Effects doing? Just probably adding, dimension. What are the go-to trash presets? I don't have go-tos, man. I just go to trash and I pick something. I'll just hit distortion and I'll just click something. And if it sounds good, I move on. I don't spend any time overthinking shit. Do you have a separate sub for that B section? Great question. I love the question. Absolutely. No, it's the same sub, actually. I just kind of moved it. No, I didn't even go off grid a little. I went off a little bit of the grid right here, but just kind of following it the best I can by drawing it in. Yeah. Just doing the best I could with it. And it worked, because this sub's pretty distorted. No, it's not distorted. Fuck me. Wow. All right. And then I think I resampled like a reverb tail of this sound. Yeah, it's just a little Oh, so this is an actual sample that I just grabbed and plug and placed. This right here. But then I layered it with this. Oops. Honestly, sounds better without the 55, if I'm being honest at this point. I'd just go back and fix it. This is an older track. You know, I made this song probably like a year ago, a little bit more than a year, if I had to guess. If I add a little bit of saturation OTT, will it cause unwanted low end, or can you just EQ that out? It will cause unwanted low end, but I like that unwanted low end because I can just distort it even more. But then you can EQ that out at the end. Sometimes it makes things really muddy, but I've found that I like that, and I can do a lot of stuff with that. Yeah. And I'm using a lot of different EQs because I have a bunch of different resamples, and I kind of have an EQ specific for each one of the resamples. And I'm doing a little pitch drop on one of these. Let's see where it is. It's not till later. Yeah, okay, we'll just keep moving on. So it's just, me resampling this. And then under that, I'm just layering it with this little vocal. A little whoop in your life, bro. No, I was talking about the bum bum. It's the same thing right here on the synths. Not sure if you covered this. Thank you, dear. Not sure if you covered this. But what do you normally put on your master chain? Let me go ahead and tell you something real quick. The master does not matter. It matters, but what really matters is the mix down. It's 90% mix down, 10% master. I'll go ahead and say that. And this master chain has changed so many times because I've changed the way that I master things over time. So the way I'm doing this is dumb. It's just fucking multi-band compression, saturation, utility, and a glue compressor with the soft clip on at 45%. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Right? But it works. Used to, I had a stupid long master chain with a bunch of external plugins, and then I started using this, and now I'm starting to go back into external plugins. My master chain changes with the seasons, okay? It changes with my moods and my needs. So the master is irrelevant because mastering is dumb. I'm joking, it's not dumb. You need to master just to kind of compress the song, but it's like, if I took this master chain off, the only thing that's really going to be happening is it's going to be a little quieter. It's going to be a little less compressed because the mix down on this song is fire. What effects do you use? Samples. No, right here on the turnaround, it's just white noise and a little riser, and I already went over the effects, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Oh, yeah, but on this turnaround, the boom, boom. The only thing that's changing in these is the drums and the vocals, because this is saying you got that heat. This was just me stretching that audio. Following that MIDI down here, but I resampled it down here. Just, you know what I'm saying? It's just doing that. Do you still stretch the vocals for that fill? Yes. Yep. Absolutely. I just kind of made markers on the grids and just kind of get them on beat the best way that I could. Simple as that. So I know you are wondering, how do I get this? So I went over this in the Lastifier class I did, and that time I was calling it defryer because I didn't know how to read. I still don't. But all this technique is just taking that patch that I had, right? Ooh, not that patch. The patch with the long notes. This one. All I did was I have this frequency shifter. Let me just take this EQ off for a second. I have this frequency shifter little rack that I made. And you can turn it on and kind of mess with the rate. If I go in, I think I have macros on here. No, I don't. Wow. All right, so what I would do is I would set a macro to the fine tuning and also the rate, and just kind of move them around to kind of get those like faster rates or slower rates. And that's all I was doing, and I was resampling that. So y'all can see that over here where it goes, I had a resample where I was going, and then I took other samples. These aren't the same samples. I mean, like, it's the same patch from me, but it's like different recordings, chopping them up and putting them together so they can sound good. Yeah, the frequency shifter. Is there any other plugins out there similar to the Ableton ones that you do this with? What do you mean, do this with? I do a lot. Okay, how do you do your variations on your second drops? Something I'm struggling with. We'll go over that. Yeah, we will 100% go over that. This sound right here. That is one of these ones. I think it's just this top hit. Oh no, it's just a resample of that patch I made that I had turned to audio. And then I wonder, yeah, it was a whole thing. But I just liked the one hit on there. Doing a little triplet. No, I'm not even doing a triplet. I'm just a little bit like not on normal time signature. And I just wanted to add a little bit of those trap hats into here just to fucking be an asshole. That's what I did. And then obviously the fucking spin around. Oop, it's probably over here in the drums if I'm being honest. And this is just that same patch that I was doing, and I did a lot of resampling of me just messing with that patch. And I wonder if I stretch this out if we'll get the whole jam, because I usually have like a whole jam. Oh, nope. If I stretch one of these out. Nope. Okay. Wow. Yeah, so it's like... So it was like that part I just liked of it, and I just kind of took out sections that I liked of me resampling it, and just put them together, make sure their fades aren't clicking. Thought it was kind of cool.
Switch.
And that's where that pitch down's happening.
Switch.
And we could have just drawn that in over here, but fuck it. You know what I mean? There's no rules. What's a great way to write motifs if it doesn't get repetitive? Just light your computer on fire. I don't know, man. If I only knew. Did you use the LFO and the frequency shifter in your last video? Yes. Oh, you can't do no Logic. Okay, then I have no idea how you would do it. I just know how to do an Ableton with Ableton effects. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Switch.
All right, so this is cool because I did do some layering right here. So it's this right here, like super low mids, as you can see. And I even had to EQ some of like the super low resonant mids. But this is, I took the same sample and just put it through a phaser and boosted the shit out of the highs and then ducked them again. I don't know. I wonder if it would sound fun if I just did this. No, I actually needed that. It's just really the went from the phaser, and but layered with it, it's got a little bit of a punch. And we got the little fills going on with just snares. Little higher pitch snares right here. pitching left and right. And then these little cymatic sample and then some other random sample. But they're high quality samples, so they sound great. It's easy to make good sounding stuff when you're using really good samples. There's that turnaround again.
Wait.
Oh, right here is cool because I kind of took the synth and I want to do like a offbeat with it.
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
Little fill that I made, just pitching down. It's just a single perk that I fucking consolidated together.
You got that heat.
Cool, we're not going to go over the verse again because we already did it, and it's the same exact verse and build up as the last. We're going to go over the drop, okay, because we're already almost at the halfway point of the lesson, and I still want to get to something of your mind. So we're going to go through the second drop a little faster. All this is right here. Same thing earlier for the bum, 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 just filtered in. This is the same patch, but with all the post-processing I have right here, whenever I add like a resident EQ right here, without it, sucks. And all I'm doing is just automating this filter, this EQ with the resonant. And I could have done this with the filter, but I liked visually how it looked with the EQ. Also, in Logic, you can definitely... Okay, I'm not reading. That's a big sentence. I'm joking. I think that's for somebody else, and I wouldn't think it's for me. And these are the same patches from the first drop, though. Wow, wow.
Okay.
Just slightly different frequencies than this one. You see how it's up a little bit more. This is 341. This is also 341, but I think the resonance just might be a little bit more. Or maybe I did something in the past. And this is just one of these little sections right here. I just chopped up. Auto pan acting as an LFO, so without the auto pan, it sounds like this. With it. And then this outro is just so fucking fire. I love this little synth right here that just grabs. This is a little Ableton synth. Just a little bit of reverb. And then just pitched up. There's that little vocal thing, that animal noise pitching up and the EQ changing. Yep. Simple as that, man. Also, I'm utilizing my return tracks a lot. So if I just hit this anywhere in the drop, right? The reverb that's left after this just adds a little bit of space in the back of mix. Return tracks are good. Okay, so that's going to wrap up Ariel Benedez. How do you usually split up your time when it comes to doing sound design sessions versus songwriting sections? What do you spend the most time on? Good question. if I have an idea for a song, I make a song. If I don't, I just work on music and I fuck around doing sound design. So what do I spend my most time on? Probably fucking around on just synths, or I try to stay productive, but you can also fuck around and be productive at the same time, dude. You can like, you know, just spend time turning random knobs and seeing what happens. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it does. That cricket really does just bring it apart. This crunch send. Okay, I talked about this in the last class I did. This is just like a rectifier, and this is just to add perceived loudness. And I'm not doing this so much anymore, just because it can make your songs sound louder, but can also muddy them up because it's super hard distortion. But it's like hella mono, so it just adds like a really clean, like thick signal in the mono signal. So without it,
Okay.
like so, like now I even hear it now, and I'm like, I might have done it without it at this point. It just adds a little bit of perceived loudness. Depends, like if I'm doing a song that's not as crunchy as this one, it probably work just adding a little bit of thickness to it. But yeah, simple send. I'm just using a Valhalla reverb. Not a big decay time. I can barely compress this. It's like not compressed that much at all. And I'm just sending this to my kick. I still wanted the my snare to kind of come through that a little bit. But simple as that, man. Any questions on Crawdaddy? Because I'm gonna move forward to something for your mom. If y'all ain't got nothing. And I'll give it a second. If not, I'll say goodbye. I was about to say vominos, but I don't think that's goodbye. Do not think that is goodbye. But yeah, man, I think the magic of this song lies in the drums, the vocals. I think the drums and the vocals and just the vibe of the song is kind of what makes this song so dope, in my opinion. And if someone was to ask me, Tvboo, I've never heard of you, I want to hear one song by you to kind of explain who you are, Crawdaddy would be the song that I would show them, because it's fun, it's goofy, it's not like too heavy, it's not too weird, so it's like right in that medium, but it's still goofy, and I like that about the song. Not everything has to be so serious, you know what I mean? You don't have to make the busiest headbanger, like not the heaviest headbanger. I hate that style of music. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. I don't want to make it. And honestly, this is a little heavy. The bump, cut, bump, cut. I don't do a lot of those anymore. And I've never been that guy, really. The drums do slap. The wobbles are okay. They're not anything crazy special. They don't have to be, because the vibe and the drums are so good. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to do dope sound design. I'm just saying it's not as, you don't have to do so much as you think. If you just make a good vibe and a good kind of story and some good drums, the rest will kind of be a little easier. Everything else will be a little easier. But cool. Someone asked about your crunch send. I already talked about it, so I'm going to keep moving on. Something for your mind. And I'll make sure to put all the serum patches to my right. Sorry about that, y'all. How we feeling so far? We learning? We getting learned? What's good? Hey, can I get an F in the chat? I've never asked for that. I don't ask for much, but I will ask for that while this loads. Bet. Why do you hate heavy music? Because it's just not interesting. Like, it's just done. It's been done so many times. Like, it's just been done so many times. Like, and there's people who are doing like really interesting stuff with it. Like, I love like Subtronic's take on a lot of that stuff. Like, every time he puts out something, it's dope. And then it's like everyone else, there's like a million generic ones that I'm not into. I don't hate it. It's just, I don't hate anything. I'll go and say I don't hate anything. But I just don't like it. Like, I hear it, I'm just like, eh. Like, it doesn't stand out to me. It's not fun to me. It's just angry. And I like being angry, and I like metal. But metal can be fun because you can switch metal up to be a little different. I feel like a lot of the heavy dubstep is exactly the same. And I just sound like a little bit of a hater. I hate nothing. You know, just ain't my cup of tea. Ain't my cup of tea. Okay, let's get into something for your mind. Things that stand out in this song, I think, that make this song so good is the drums. I think the drums are great. I think the switch ups, like the switch up with the percussion and the things in the back. Now the sound design in here is cool, but honestly, if you took the basses out, the song still slaps. Everything else adding in is just extra. Actually, it did sound a little empty without the main basses. I'm going to go ahead and omit that. But let's get started. It starts out with some pretty synth stuff. And I have all the patches saved. Starts with this right here. This is just the arpeggiated. A little patch that I had made from a wavetable and Serum. Just a little reverb and delay. Simple patch. Just like it's like a sine wave with like the sync window on it. That's all it looks like. And the arpeggiator just doing 2-note chords. Nothing too crazy. Are the vocal effects granular? Good question, because the vocal effects are going to piss you off. You've heard this vocal before. I know Skrillex has used it at a time before. Other people have used it. I bought this in a sample pack. This was just a sample that I dragged and dropped. I didn't do anything to it other than drag it and drop it. That's it. Now, this might have been made in a granular. I don't know, but this was a sample it's royalty-free sample. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong to just, take something and make your song, dude. It's like they're there for a reason. Mitch, what would you say to a producer struggling to create a vibe or story in their music? I'd say try to find out what makes you, and try to put that into a song. You know what I mean? Try to figure out who you are as a person and how you can relate that into your music to stand out from different. Almost like putting your personality into your music. You know what I mean? Like kind of take in stuff that you're into. Like if your vibe is like whatever the fuck it is, if you're a scientist or whatever, you're probably going to make some Mr. Bill sounding shit, some Tipper sounding shit. I don't know. That sounds like if someone told me Tipper was a scientist, I'd be like, no shit. You know what I mean? Like, but also if they're like, yo, he's just a wook who smokes way too much DMT, I'll be like, yeah. So I'd say just like find a way. If you're struggling to create a vibe, I think one of the reasons why you're struggling is because you're trying to create a vibe. You know what I mean? I think you should just go in and do. Do or do not. You know what I mean? Like I find myself, I struggle in the most making music whenever I'm trying to make something. But when I'm just going into the studio, being myself, goofing off, hearing weird, funny things that I just think are cool, I'm making music that is, what's the word? It's like something to myself. Unique to myself? Yes, whatever the word was I was looking for. Just vibe, bruh. Good question, man. Just be yourself. Kind of like, figure out what makes you and put that in your music. And I just had this little contact instrument. This was an Exhale preset that I found that was really cool. And then I just had an auto filter kind of with the LFO opening up. And I did have the phase going left and right because I thought it was kind of cool doing that. I thought it was kind of, genuine to yourself. Thank you. I thought it was kind of cool going left and right. And it's following the same exact chord progression as the ARP, except instead of going up in key, in transpose, it's going down. Like, up and down. Just keep it a little simple. And this is just like a saw wave, like a big saw wave. I think I have it right here. Is this it? No, it's this. Yeah, all this is right here. We can unfreeze it, check it out. All it is just probably a lot of voices, filtered, probably distorted. Nope, just compressed and saturated. And then saturated isn't even doing anything other than just adding a little bit of oomph. And then compressing it, that's it. Simple as diet, boy. I stop making music when I don't feel it. There you go. That's actually a good point. I mean, I wouldn't stop making music when you don't feel it. I would just be like, whenever I'm not feeling it, I just do stuff that's not, like, if I'm feeling down, it's because I feel like I'm trying to make something to release. I'm like, it's like unnecessary pressure. I'm like, man, I gotta fucking make a song so I can release it, or, I gotta stay relevant. It's like, but nah, that's lame, man. Whenever I feel like that, I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna go make a house beat. I'm gonna go make a hip hop beat, dude. Or I'm gonna go write a song about blowing a dude. Like stupid stuff like that. And then next thing you know, you're writing a fully creative song and you had fun doing it. You were staying productive. Yeah, you might not release it, but you probably learned something along the way. And most importantly, you had fun while doing it. And, we started making music because we think it's fun. Do you just copy and paste the same 4 bars after 8/16, or do you change the melody notes? No, I don't think I'm changing really much at all. This is really a straightforward song. And then I got like this little break beat right here. It's repitched to the tempo. I got a side chain to a kick, and then I have like, it sounded good layered with another kind of beat. So with this song, I 100% did not overcomplicate anything, dude. I don't try to overcomplicate my music anyway. I try to keep it pretty straightforward. As y'all saw with Crawdaddy, it might have looked a little complicated. Note to self, make songs about blowing dudes. Just wait for my comedy album. There's literally a metal song on there about blowing dudes. But it's like, even with Crawdaddy, it's a pretty straightforward. Now there's like I don't think like the structure of it or the arrangement is complicated by any means, and I don't think most of it is at all. It's just learning how to make it sound good. You know what I mean? Like if you can make your drums sound good and everything else kind of fall in line with it, then your songs are going to sound decent. And if you have a good idea, then it's just going to be catchy. You know what I mean? I like catchy things. So let's just go into the vocal right here. I just took like a piece of it and just kind of, copied and pasted it to just do this. Simple as that. And then I just introduced some risers. I've had these white noises. These are actually the only effects in like the verse section. And then I have this crowd clap that I use almost every single song, just kind of fill up the back of the mix. Oh yeah, and then I layered this with this thing. I think it's the same patch, maybe with distortion. Oh no, it's just a saw wave. That's all it is a square wave. That's it. Just a square wave with the arpeggiator and EQ. Simple. There's not even compression, no fucking reverb, delay. There's nothing. Do you have some sort of format you go by with your arrangement? I don't think so, dude. I just kind of flow. Simple, yet proper ways to build energy. Yeah, it's like you don't have to kind of do nothing. You remember you changed the pitch to match the tempo. Do you use a stock plugin for that, or use third-party plugins? I just use the pitch to match the tempo and just this loop. I just hit repitch. That's it. That's the only thing I'm really changing the pitch of. Yeah. And then everything at the halfway point right here on the build, I'm just pitching up an octave in Serum or whatever, and then I'm probably turning on a reverb and washing it out. Or I'm washing it out on the group. Right here. You can hear it washing out. Cool. I'm just building up these drums. The only new drum I'm adding right here is the kick and just this snare building up. So I kind of wanted to also kind of match like the synth. So it was like kind of want to kind of match that ARP in my mid bass, and I'll show y'all the patch real quick because it's this right here. So all it is, it's really basic. I'd imagine it's probably just a saw wave. Oh, it's a sine wave. With distortion, that's the only thing I'm doing in Serum. I'm not doing anything else in Serum. I'm getting all of my sound from post-processing. I'm doing some trash, OTT, trash, OTT, trash, trash, OTT, trash, compression. Are y'all seeing a formula that I have here? And it works for me. Maybe you can take it and make it work for you in your own way. Because if you take it and just do it like this, they're going to be like, oh, this sounds like Tvboo. What you have to... Oh, shit, my bad. I totally did just drag Serum over there. Yeah, my bad. So this is my Serum patch. My bad. It's just a sine wave, distortion. That's it. Don't overthink nothing, y'all. Without this post-processing, though. With it, I think I have some convolute on a distortion, if I'm right. No, I might be wrong. A convolute on these things are fucking dope, and they get some cool width things. No, I did not use a convolute on here. Okay, cool. Just like different distortion plugins. What would you say about getting out of your own way? Good question. Don't take it too serious, man. Don't take anything too serious. It's so easy to take everything so serious. People are canceling people for making a joke. You know what I mean? Or people are like someone, just like you get in the studio and taking yourself too serious, and then you're like canceling yourself getting creative that day. So just don't do it, man. So that's all that is. It's just that sine wave and post-processing. And I'm getting the wow wow. Same thing I showed y'all earlier. So we go over here. We can, oops. Where did I get that from? I got it from over here. So you see this audio effect rack that I had made with all these frequency shifters? Let me see when it turns on. All I did was take a section of probably a F or E, whatever the song is, and I think the song's in E, if I'm correct. Yep, the song's in E. So I just took like an E note of like these long notes and put it through a frequency shifter where I automated. You can see I made a nice little rack for it. I routed it to the sync rate, LFO amount, dry, wet, and the offset just to kind of make sure that I'm on, the grid where I want it to be. And I just made a bunch of different instances of it. And just, like, I took this thing, and I probably just turned this on. Yep, that's exactly what I did. And I just messed with these little parameters in these macros that I made. And I found sections that I liked, and I just fucking took them out. And then I got this. Oh, and I also have a little bit more post-processing on after. So without all this, does it make any difference? I think this is just... Nope, not much difference at all. Okay. Just a little bit of detuning and goddamn stereo witness. I'm offended. What are you offended for? Do you think the kick or the snare is most important? I think they're both equally as important. Do you have any techniques to make your very low sub bass more powerful, like a low B or C, for example? If I'm doing a low B or C, I'm just probably distorting it, especially a B. That's a tough. A low B is a really tough note to get through. So I'm either distorting it or just taking it up an octave. Like if you can't hear it, or feel it, there's not that many systems out there that can really push a low B. Can you do a quick breakdown of the sidechain at some point? Yes, I can actually. I will. So yeah, I just did that resampling of the frequency shifter part. So this is where interesting. So I layered. Oh, I didn't layer. So I just made a big saw wave. This thing right here is just, I believe, this right here. And all this is, let me unfreeze this. It's just big saw stacks. All the voices, detuned as much as possible. Not as much as possible, but detuned them a good bit. OTT, compression, that's it. And the only time I'm making it do anything, I think, is this over here. Yep, I just turned the auto filter on this section right here. We can see that. And then I'm just messing with the rate. But let's talk about the other stuff in the back of the mix that's kind of driving the song around as well. How much of your sound design knowledge is really just the product of fucking around? Probably about all of it. I didn't take any lessons or have any mentors for music production. So I think just about all of it. That's why you're not going to hear me use a lot of what's the word? Correct grammar on calling stuff. I'm pretty I'm white trashyology on terminology on all this stuff, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of white trash school, you know what I'm saying? Just a couple beers in me and fucking screaming fuck Hillary and just making some beats, man. Simple as that, dude. So yeah, these big saws are really impactful because they just sound really big. It's the same kind of melody as that first part. It's just wider and a little bit more thicker, you know what I mean? But you make it work. And then all the high percussion is just this little loop right here. And that's such a good fucking loop. Sultan killed that. That's such a amazing loop right there. But what's really cool is the vocals kind of driving it. So I have this little woo kind of delay. What is that DJ spin around? Did I have one? Okay, word. It's literally just probably just a sample, yeah. Nothing too complicated, man. And then just right here. Sounded kind of cool on the snare. So this is where it gets cool. Where you get this vinyl spinbacks, bro. The internet, man. The fucking internet, dude. Fucking change your life, bro. You ever been on the internet? So this is where the vocals start getting a little interesting. Dirty audio sample. Is it? It might not be. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. I don't know. It just says dirty. It's not a dirty audio. It's not saying. It might be. So I just took a section of the vocal that's kind of in the same tonality and just took it. And I had what was this? What was this plugin right here? I don't know. I had an old plugin, LFO tool. Just kind of and I don't have it anymore. It's on my old computer. But just taking I think that was the 4 for your mind. I might have stretched this. No, all I did was fade it, and it just kind of drives the song. Without it, it's lame. And I was kind of going for a Snoop Dogg kind of vibe with this on the drop it like it's hot. I was like, all right, I don't want to copy it, so I'm just gonna kind of get these little this right here. And I just pitched them down and panned them left and right. And then I'm doing this little thing right here with the delay. Really cool at this part. It's these little things in the back of the mix are driving the song. If they weren't there, the song would be so lame and so empty. That's what's so good about this song is there's not too much going on, but there's just enough going on. If one thing was taken out of this song, the song would be ruined. It wouldn't be the same. And that's how I like to write songs. If I take one channel out of my tracks, the song will be ruined. And the sub's not doing anything crazy either. It's just LFO and nice and straight. Back to this vocal. That's a. Honestly, is this doing anything? Yeah, it's just kind of giving like a little bit of like a stereo effect with the dancing. It's like it's saying dancing, but I have it ping pong delayed. It's just adding a little bit of stereo effect. Yeah, use Splice. Use Splice. Just more vocal stuff, just taking different parts of it. Like this was the 4, and this was the mine. Like the 4, I was going 4, 4. This one's going mine, mine. And also some more stereo stuff. And the only thing I'm doing in the effects section, I think, is just white noise and little suctions. Yep, so without it. Like, you hear how boring this sounds without the white noise and vocals? Just a sped up LFO. Honestly, I probably could have did this. I probably could have done the drop without this section right here, but I made this song like 2 years ago. It's crazy how long it takes for songs to get out, right? Sounds like Blunts and Blondes. No, dude, Blunts and Blondes sounds like Tvboo. How about that? Because this song was made probably before Blunts and Blondes made his own tracks or anything. I don't know. That was a joke. Could have not been, though. Who knows? When you start your song, do you start a new section of a song? Do you start with drums or melody or what? I start with an idea. And I knew, like, I kind of had, like, a melody. I had, like, an idea of a melody or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, no, this is an older track. So, the stuff I'm doing now is, like, not that much more complicated. It's just a little bit, sounds a little better. Or does it take so long for songs to come out? Good question. Because it's, like, good songs, I don't feel like, if you're sitting on, like, a really good song, you know it's a really good song. I don't think that it's going to die out. You know what I'm saying? If your song's super sick, you don't have to worry about it sucking in a year or something like that. But also, it's like, there are no shots fired there. I love that dude. I was just joking around. But what I'm saying is just like, I knew the song was good, and I knew I wanted to get it out, but there's a right moment for everything. You know what I mean? So it's like I just finished an album. I just finished my comedy album. I wouldn't release the album next month. It's like, fuck no. I want to make sure that it's going to come out in the right setting, in the right place, the right time, with the right marketing plan behind it. You know what I mean? There's more to releasing music than just making the song and putting it out. Like, you still want to be able to, you know, timing is everything. And yeah, sometimes it just takes songs a while to come out. Like Back the Fuck Up, that just came out Friday on Deadbeats. Clutch and I made that song like a year and a half ago. And we've been trying to get that song out the entire year of 2020. And it took till last Friday. We've been trying to get it out since January, so it just takes a minute, man. And you know what? It's okay that it takes a minute, because while it takes a minute, you can spend that time making more music. You can spend that time learning more and doing all that fun stuff. I'm just using different parts of the vocals. Right, dude, we never even made promo for the song. I just brought that something part. And just added a drum fill. And filtering in, there's like saws. All right, so we took no time getting into the drop here. So another reason why if I was to go back and remake this song, I would probably cut back that last 16 bars. It's because that's a long drop, right? And that's a long drop for not such a big build. So if it was me probably going back, I might have redid it. But fuck it, you know what I'm saying? The flow pattern changes. What did you do to make that last part different, or was it the triplet fill? It was just me automating the LFO. That's the only thing that is changing. And the vocal. The only things that are really evolving over that last, 16 bars is the LFO and then the stuff in the back of the mix, with being the vocal, different fills on the turnarounds. That's a different fill from this. Just a different feel from this. Those are all turnarounds just to kind of get you back into the drop. You know what I mean? Back into what we were at.
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
So this part's really cool because I was trying to go for like a psytrance vibe. I was listening to a lot of psytrance that day. And it failed miserably, but I mean I went for it, you know what I mean? And I even switched kicks to try to make it work, you know what I mean? That's a psytrance kick, you know what I'm saying? It failed, and all I'm doing is I was using an LFO tool and going through the different presets in there, and I don't have LFO tool on this computer, so I don't think it will come over. No, and all that is one of those frequency shifted basses that I ran through LFO tool and just did some stuff like that. Yeah, I can go over my turnarounds here in a second. I'll actually go around them right now. I mean, all they are is just different drum fills, man. So it's just right here, I just have this little snare building down that I just pitched down myself. An octave, and then I had a sub dropping right here. That just sounded cool with it. That's it on that one. And then there's that one right there. Oh, this one's cool because I automated the volume on this one right here. So this fill actually is really cool. So this is all volume automation right here, just kind of fading out, like a fake out, just sucking you right back into it. You know what I mean? So that one's kind of cool. I think this is the same thing. Yeah, it's the same fill. Cool. Let's get back to the psytrance thing. I even tried layering it with the psytrance of bum dun 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 dun. I tried getting that bass going. So it's I have this little thing right here. It sounds horrible. But it worked. I think the only reason it didn't actually fail. It just didn't sound psytrancey. It just kind of energetic, just kick drums for a minute. You know what I mean? I was trying to go for a psytrance stuff, and I think I realized that I wasn't really necessarily getting that vibe, and so I switched it up. So with it kind of failing for a moment, it kind of worked because I think I just had this just going through an LFO tool, kind of that kind of dun 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 layering behind it, and then a riser, and then just the kick, man. I mean, I would say it failed. If I would have let this go for another 8 bars, it 100% would have failed. If I would have let this do the same thing, all the way over here, the song would have been it would have been what the fuck are we listening to? Because honestly, this part right here has been some people's favorite part of the song. It's oh man, I love that switch up on the second drop. So it's sick. Got out of it perfect timing. I knew that it wasn't going to be able to last, but I knew I could do it for just these fucking 2 bars. And I'd even use like one of those like side trance big snares just to go back in like a little trap drop. Little boom boom. Adding a little bit of drop, a little bit of pitch envelope to the sub right there. And this is a little Ableton sub. If y'all don't know about the hip hop sub in Ableton, it's fucking dope because you can get just about everything you want out of a sound in here. And I just reverbed this out, washing it out over time. We can unfreeze this, but it's not going to have the LFO tools on this. And it sounded kind of cool with the kicks, like side chaining it out, so it really sounds like it's building or getting out of the way. Oh, that good jazz. And then just the effects right here are kind of helping build that tension. So simple stuff, just grabbing and dropping and pasting. Probably could have cut this out, but I think I did that on the group, so it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I think I was listening to a lot of Zeke Beats that day, and I kind of was like in that little poppy, like lasery synth stuff, so I was just pitching them back and forth. It worked. It just like helped drive it into again. Will you transpose the sub in audio or pitch it, bend it in MIDI? I think I pitch bend it in MIDI, but I'd use a different patch for it. It says like the hip hop sub. I hate pitch bending stuff in Ableton on like these views because it never works MIDI. Like it might fuck up like later on in the song. So I made a separate patch with just a sub, and like I just made like these octaves right here, and then I just automated this pitch bend wheel in Serum. Oops, sorry. You probably couldn't see that. I just automated this pitch bend and Serum from Serum into Ableton just to get that clean sub drop. You know what I mean? This is that same like frequency shifting thing that we did in the last two tracks. Have I overused this technique? Maybe, but fuck it. Still sounds cool. If it sounds cool, why not? And then I changed up the snare because I thought this would kind of sound cool, like a switch up from like the trappier snare to like a kind of like a rim hit, and it does sound cool, especially with the reverb with the return track. So it's really good. That's a great sample. Hey, once again, the vocal is driving this. So without the vocal, it's not nearly as cool. Like you take the vocal effects out, sounds lame. It almost sounds more lame than if we just took the mids out. So like anything else we add in there is just gonna sound good. This is a different LFO time signature. And then just that big impact. Cashmere. God, their samples are so amazing. Man, this one might have been more simple. I was gonna say I don't know which layout is more simple. This one or Strawberries. I know whenever we went over Strawberries last time, that was like my first time seeing it in like 3 years, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this track is so simple. But here's the thing, man. It doesn't matter. Does it sound good? Is it effective? Is it fun? Is it danceable? Is it, does it make you move? Does it make you be like, damn, okay, this is different? If it's simple, it doesn't fucking matter, dude. Some of my favorite songs are the most simple things on the planet. Some of my, like, and here, I'll say this, man, it's all about the beat, bro. So think about this. You can have the best sound design on the planet, but if your drums aren't knocking, people aren't going to be moving. Simple as that. You could have the shittiest sound design on the planet and some dope drums, people are going to be fucking dancing and shit. Like, y'all ever, like, talk to somebody, like, when they're playing, like, a rap song or, like, a newer rap song, they're like, man, I don't know what the fuck that guy's saying right now, but the beat's dope. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, they don't even care what that guy's talking about or don't even know what he's saying. They just know, like, dude, this beat's cold, man. It's like the same thing with electronic music, too. Now, you still want it, I'm not saying don't make your sound design dope. Obviously, make it dope. But people like to spend all the time on sound design, man. I really think that everything around it and, like, the vibe of it all is more important, in my opinion. It's like, the sound design I'm doing is not complicated by any means. It's, like, it's not complicated at all. You don't have to be a stupid sound design nerd. Said stupid. Super, my bad. Super sound design nerd to, like, kind of get sounds that sound good. And if you can create a nice vibe and, like, build a energy around it, dude, and a dope beat. That's 100% what mumble rap is. Yeah, but why is mumble rap so successful? It's because the beat is cold as fuck. You know what I mean? So it's just like, if you can make some dope beats, man, you can get your drums thumping and your sub and everything, all that. It all plays into each other, but I really feel like a lot of people just really miss out on paying attention to the beat. But yeah, still sound design is you still want to have good sound design. I'm not saying you don't have good sound design. I'm just saying that a lot of people really like to focus on the wrong things a lot of the time. Like, I'll have some of my students or, like, newer students be like, man, I really feel like I need to learn to sound design, and then I'll listen to their drums. I'm like, dude, your drums suck. Like, we need to work on your drums. Like, this is a little bit more important at the moment. Because it's like, think about hip-hop beats and, like, rappers and all that stuff. Or, like, they're not sound designing when they're doing a lot of that stuff. They're making dope beats, and, yeah, they're taking sounds and doing cool stuff with it. But it's just like, the beat is, like, where that's at. Yeah, simple yet effective. What's the master chain on that one? I think it's the same one. It's dumb, dude. It makes no sense, but it works. It doesn't have to make sense. This OTT is not even on. It's multiband compression, saturator, utility. Kind of turn it up even more. Glue compressor. Just make sure not clipping. Turn soft clip on. 45% on the dry wet. I don't know why this works. I have no idea why this works. I had my own mastering chain that I was using for the longest time. Then I made Got That with Jansen, and he had this mastering chain on there. And I was like, why does this master chain work? Why does it sound so thick? You know what I mean? What's your opinion on mastering for streaming services like Spotify? Like, are you mastering songs for Spotify? Like, if that's a pretty sick gig. It's a pretty sick gig you got there if you're mastering songs for Spotify. That's what's up. Well, if they need another mastering engineer, let them holler at me. I'll fucking throw this bad boy on there. Get it thick for them. Now, here's the thing, man. This mastering chain wouldn't sound good if the mixdown wasn't good. If my mixdown shit, this mastering chain would probably make it sound like even more shit, if I'm being real. Probably make it sound even worse. Just because if you have a bad mix sound and then just throw a mastering chain on it just to beef it up, it always just sounds worse, man. Just sounds a little worse. So it's all in the mix down, baby. And yeah, I know the way that I approach bass music might be a little different from most, but I have fun doing it the way I do it. And we started doing this. We got into music because it's fun. And along the way, a lot of people forget that it's about you're doing it because it's fun. I've forgotten it many of times. Where it's like, man, I haven't made a song in a month. And it's just because I put this unnecessary pressure on myself. I'm like, dude, my career's going to go down the toilet if I don't put a banger out. Dude, it's okay, man. Just go in the studio. Sit down in the studio for a month. Don't worry about making a song to release, man. Just fucking make cool sounds. Make cool beats. Like, make dumb shit. Stuff that makes you laugh or shit that makes you dance that other people might not think it's cool, but you think it's cool. That's what's going to make you unique to you. You know what I mean? Like, just be yourself with it. Have fun with it. That's all I can say, man. Do you solo your sounds when you're working on them or listening to the whole thing? I pretty much do not listen ever to anything, period. No, I'm just like, I I mean, of course, I listen to my sounds, but I probably don't solo them. I might occasionally, but for the most part, I just like listening to the mix together. The mix together is where it's at. I know we're all over the place. I hope I did a good job explaining everything. We're at the end of the hour and a half for the class. Any last questions, man, before I squirrel, girl? Any last questions before I squirrel on out of you? I just want to say I appreciate everybody who came into the class tonight. I hope this all can help y'all out. I hope you can help you be a little bit more creative. I hope it can also let you take a little stress on yourself. Take a little bit of that stress off, baby. You know what I'm saying, Daddy? Like, it ain't that bad. What's your biggest way to get motivated and inspired to start working on a song? Man, that's a good question. Biggest way to get motivated and inspired? Fucking around, man. Honestly, like, there's days where I sit down in the studio, I'm like, man, I don't want to do this today. But then I'm like, there's some days where I'm like, I do not want to make dubstep today. I do not want to make dubstep today. So I'll open up a different synth or like some chords or whatever, and then I'll just play them out. And then I'm like, oh shit, I have an idea for a song. So it's like, I write a song just about every day, y'all. I really do. I write a song almost every day. Is it a song that I will put out? No. I'll probably write about one song I'll put out a month, honestly. Sometimes more. At least one song a month I'll make that I'm going to put out. But that doesn't mean I'm not in the studio working every day. And doing that, I'm having fun doing other things. I'm taking pressure off of myself, but I'm also having fun with the experience, the fun of evolving, the fun of learning, and just trying new things out. Because there's so much things out there that I don't know. I've been doing this for like 6 years, I think, at this point, dude. I've been doing music since I was 9 years old, and I'm still such a noob. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I will always be a noob because there's always new shit to learn. So what inspires me to keep going, dude? I guess knowing that, like, there's fun stuff out there to be. Like, I want to make fun music. And if I'm in a good mood, dude, I'm making good music, man. And if I'm not in a good mood, I'm not in the studio, y'all. I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to get out of the studio. I'm going to fucking go jerk off. Whatever I might do, man. Oh, let's see, dude. Drinking and fucking. Oh, let's see other questions. What's your biggest tip on getting inspired? Just have fun, man. If you're having fun, you will get inspired. I get inspired a lot by comedy, so like watching things that make me laugh or like hearing goofy samples. Like, I love taking samples that I can't legally use, writing a song around it, and then eventually taking that sample out and inserting my own or whatever. Like, a lot, you'd be surprised how many songs I've released that originally started from an uncleared sample that I just ended up switching over time. Did you ever go over the sidechain? No, I did not. My sidechain's very simple. It's just on my groups, routed to my kick and snare. Simple as that. It's the most simple way of sidechaining. People like to add volume shapers and stuff, external plugins to sidechain. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that I don't fucking do that, and I'm just totally fine the way I am. I've never had anything wrong from me just routing my sidechain compressors to my kick and snare. Are you generally releasing your own self-masters or sending them off for someone before official release? I have only had 2 songs of mine ever mastered by somebody else. Every song that's ever been released other than those 2 have been mixed and mastered by me. So yeah, that's it. Sound design generally helps me get inspired. It helps me too. Just making weird, funny stuff, it helps me like just kind of get a little bit more creative too. Do you finish those songs you write that you know you probably won't release? Nah. I'll make like 32 bars of whatever, and then I'll just call it a day. You know what I mean? I had fun. I learned something new. I created a vibe. I felt accomplished because I made something today. I wasn't worthless. So no, I don't have to finish them because there's no need to. They're really just learning experiences. They're practice. Go on to the next one, dude. Go on to the next one. You don't have to finish everything you make, man. It's all learning experience. Preach, preach, preach. Because Mitch, thank you for the time and tips. When COVID is done, come back to BC and play another Wook party. Goddamn right, dude. All right, dude. Shout out BC, dude. Shout out the BBCs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out BBWs. Yeah. So shout out all those motherfuckers. Shout out to Fire, man. Bring me on again for second time in like, I don't know. We did this like 3 or 4 months ago, so I'm glad to be back. Hopefully we can do this in like the next 6 months off of my next EP or whatever comes out. Maybe we'll go over the album, because the album that I'm releasing here, and like hopefully next year at some point, I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Hopefully then, that's a whole different take. I'm doing a lot of pop punk, pop, hip hop, rap, metal. It's like all different styles of genres. So maybe y'all need to see how that stuff goes on and how to write like tunes other than electronic music. Or honestly, maybe not. Maybe I'm just an idiot and know nothing. And I do know nothing. I can't even read.